In this lesson, you will learn about major key signatures. As you watch this lecture, I would encourage you to pause the video to take notes, rewind to listen to material that you may have not been clear at first, or fast forward through topics that you are comfortable with. After you've watched the videos, you can work through the practice exercises on Canvas. If you have any questions, post them to the discussion board. I would encourage you to answer your classmates' questions on the discussion board as well, and the TAs and I will periodically check in to moderate. You must take the short quiz before coming to class. You are welcome to take it as many times as you like and to use whatever materials you have at your disposal, but you must score 100% on the test in order for it to count. Before embarking on this lesson, you should be able to comfortably spell major scales beginning on any note. If you can't do that, please go back and review lesson 1.3 and come back to this when you are comfortable spelling major scales on any starting note. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to, given any major key, provide the key signature for that major key. Given any key signature, you should be able to tell me what major key it corresponds to. And you should also understand the circle of fifths and be able to reproduce it if I give you a diagram. On this slide I have a C-sharp major scale. You'll notice that every note has a sharp in front of it. There are 7 sharps in all. If you took a regular C major scale and raised the entire thing by a half step, this is the scale that you would get. Now let's say I wanted to write a piece of music using this scale. This is the beginning of Bach's Prelude No. 3 from the Well-Tempered Clavier, which is a book of piano preludes and fugues in all of the major and minor keys. This one is written in C-sharp major, and you can see that there are sharps in front of every single note. If you were the piano player who was sitting down to play this, it's pretty intimidating to look at. But there's a better way to notate all of this. We can use a key signature as a shorthand method. A key signature is a shorthand method of indicating the accidentals required in a piece. The key signature appears at the beginning of every staff, after the clef, and before the time signature. And as with our discussion of major scales, you'll never have sharps and flats in one key signature. Here's the Bach Prelude rewritten with a key signature this time. All 7 of the sharps appear at the front of the staff. They're after the clef, but before the time signature. The key signature appears on every line of music, always in this position. You can see the musical notation looks much less cluttered now that we've moved everything to the beginning. It's much easier to read. And the performer knows that whenever he or she sees a particular note, it needs to be raised by half step. When we build key signatures, the sharps or flats always appear in a specific order. Sharps appear in the order F, C, G, D, A, E, B, and flats appear in exactly the reverse order. This ordering is also cumulative. You will never have a key signature with just a D sharp, for instance. You'll always have F, C, G, and D sharp. You'll also never have a key signature with just E flat. You'll also have to have a B flat too. Here are the sharps and flats arranged on the staff in each of the 3 main clefs. The sharps and flats always appear on specific lines or spaces. For instance, the first sharp in the treble clef, this F, always appears on the top line. It never appears down here. The last sharp, B, in the bass clef always appears on this second line. It is crucial that you know not only the order of sharps and flats, but also their correct positions on the staff. If you're ever in doubt, just pick up some music that you might have lying around and see what the pros do. The circle of fifths is a handy tool for thinking about key signatures. It's basically a clock face, and each hour corresponds to the addition or subtraction of an accidental. If we start at 12 o'clock, C major, we can see that there are no sharps or flats in the key signature. If we move to 1 o'clock, we've added 1 sharp, and that tells us that the key is G major. The tool is called the circle of fifths because as you move clockwise, the tonic of each key is 5 steps up from the tonic of the previous one. If you start on C and count up 5 steps, you'll arrive at G. If you start on G and you count up 5 steps, you'll arrive at D and add 1 more sharp. You'll notice at the bottom of the clock, around 5, 6, and 7 o'clock, that there is some overlap. This is a result of enharmonic equivalence, which we talked about a few lessons ago. C sharp and D flat, for instance, are 2 notes that are spelled differently but sound the same. If you played both the C sharp major scale and the D flat major scale on the piano, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, either in terms of the keys that you push or the sound that it makes. The only real difference comes in the notation. The circle of fifths is a very useful tool, and we will return to it often. I encourage you to take time to memorize it. And I can tell you will be expected to memorize all the major and eventually minor key signatures, and you can expect timed quizzes on them. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to, given a major key, provide the key signature for that major key. Given a key signature, you should be able to provide the major key that the key signature corresponds to. For instance, if I said 2 sharps, you should be able to tell me D. If I say 3 flats, you should be able to tell me E flat major. You should also be able to understand the circle of fifths and be able to reproduce it if I give you a diagram. Feel free to watch all or part of this video again. It's very important that you master this material before coming to class, because we're not going to take class time to go over it, but rather we're going to put it to use doing some in-class activities. There are practice exercises on Canvas, and if you have any questions, post them to the discussion board. Take time to answer your classmates' questions, and the TAs and I will check in periodically to moderate. Be sure to take the short quiz before coming to class. You're welcome to take it as many times as you like and to use whatever materials you have at your disposal, but you must score 100% in order for it to count.